Hello everyone. This is the 20th TESOL Macedonia Thrace annual convention here in Thessaloniki, Greece. And I'm Joanna Chletsi, a board member from TESOL. And here we have the honor and pleasure to have with us Nikos Ifakis, one of our plenary speakers, who has just finished his talk, and which was really well received. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Joanna.
And welcome.
Thank you.
So we would like to know some things about your talk. So what is differentiation in teaching? Because this is what you spoke about mainly.
Yes. Well, the term differentiation may sound a bit daunting, but it's really something very simple. Catering for all your learners' individual needs, learning needs. Which means it really involves you getting into contact with your learners, finding ways to research their interests, their psychological world, how they respond to stimuli, and to get them involved with different groups, moving around people, all throughout your teaching, trying your best to make them respond to what you ask them to do in the best way that they can. And this is how we actually learn. That's how we are made to operate.
But do you think this is quite easy to actually happen in a classroom environment, thinking of the curricula that we have?
Well, there are two schools of thought here. There's one school of thought that says that teachers treat their classroom in a way that they believe that learners have a fixed mindset, that they are either able to learn or they're just not very clever. So if you have that mindset, it will not work. But if as a teacher you have a mindset of that essentially says that learners are not, that the ability to learn is not an inborn trait, but is developed as you grow up. And it's your responsibility, actually, it's not the learner's responsibility to respond to whatever you ask them to do. If you have that mindset, then that's what you want for a differentiated class. If you have that mindset, you are more than halfway through what you need to do in order to have your class work really well in a differentiated way, because all the rest is really just asking your learners, collecting all the information that they provide you, all the tasks, everything that they do, you collect it, you study it, and you tailor your own teaching to cater for all of their needs.
So there's no recipe, as you have mentioned, standard recipe. So what advice would you give to a teacher?
Well, first of all, have an open mind and really believe that your education, if you were lucky enough to have had an education in teaching, it will not cover even a tiny fraction of what you really need to respond to your classroom needs. You need to continue to develop yourself throughout your life and to get to really understand all your learners diachronically, not just when you are 25 or 30 years old, but throughout your teaching career. Exactly.
Thank you very much for this. And one of the last questions, what are the principles of a new school? Because you've mentioned that in your talk.
Yes.
What are the principles?
Well, the principles of the new school, and I'm thinking now of the term new school that was proposed by Kalangis and Cope, are really very simple. First of all, you want a school that has the learner at the center of its infrastructure, so it's learner-centered, not teacher-centered or coursebook-centered. Then it has to be learning-centered. There has to be an orientation, a focus on the different ways of learning that different people prefer. So not only lectures, but other ways of learning. That's why different groupings and the layout of the furniture is very important. The third principle has the teacher as a fully autonomous entity in the classroom. She's fully responsible for everything and fully free to do whatever is necessary
This is quite innovative.
to bring about learning. So the course book is not at all interesting. here. The teacher makes decisions. It's a decision maker, essentially. And the last thing is it has to be ICT enhanced, information communication technology enhanced.
Pass with the...
Yeah, with current day technologies, the technologies that everybody, especially young kids, even those who are not as economically, financially independent, everybody today lives in a much closer association with technology than we were ever had in our younger days.
All right, so are you working on something lately? I mean, are you currently working on something?
These days I work, my differentiated instruction is a very important field that I've started thinking about for the past 2 or 3 years. But my more prolonged concern is with English as an international lingua franca, and it's linked with education. So what I'm doing now is I'm focusing on the training of teachers, the education, the preparation of teachers, and the development of teachers who are interested in finding out more about English as a lingua franca, ELF.
We do need guidance, that's true.
And what I've realized is that I'm actually working with colleagues from Cyprus and from Turkey, Istanbul, is that in order to get the message across about English as a lingua franca, which is an entirely different way of looking at language as a whole, is to not just to inform teachers, this is what it is, but to transform, not even to show them, because showing, yeah, it's a nice way to start, but what you really want is a transformation of their deeper beliefs about things like correctness, fluency, communication, intelligibility, and the role of the non-native speaker in today's world. You know, non-native speakers of English are many more than native speakers. So I'm working with the training of ELF teachers at the moment.
Well, thank you very much for sharing all this
It's a pleasure
with us. I hope to see you again
Me too.
next year.